What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York, invading Ohio, day 3 at Incarceration Festival 2019, and all the way from Sweden, we are here with Kerbera. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you for having us here.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Is this the first U.S. tour, right, or first time in the U.S.? What do you think of it so far?
It's great. We haven't played any shows, so this is gonna be our first one. So that's pretty huge. Like playing in such a huge place, and I love the movie that was filmed here. So.
It seems to be like I've interviewed so many bands on their first U.S. tour, and every time I interview them, like I always ask, like, "Oh, how much is touring in the U.S. influenced?" And they're like, "It's like life changing for us."
It's very different. I've been a lot in Asia, and like some shows, like of course, obviously in Europe, but it's very different here. Like I haven't even played yet, but the whole vibe is very different. It is.
Coming from the metal capital of the world, you would think you'd be like, we're better than you, motherfuckers.
No. Like in Sweden, the thing with Sweden is that it's big, but we have no people there. Like we're 9 million people in the whole fucking country, so.
There's more people in Ohio than in Sweden.
Yeah. So, well, we never get the crowd the way that you do here. Like if there are like 200 people come to the show, that's big.
Well, Maurizio from the band Cataclysm told me that when you play in Sweden, you're basically playing to other band members.
Yeah, I get you.
Wait, you what?
When you play in Sweden, you play to other band members.
Oh yeah, probably correct. Yeah. I'd say that.
Now, I Am the Enemy is your latest single, and is this like a clear indication of what the follow-up to People Like You is going to be like, or are you trying to experiment with the new album a little bit more?
I'd say probably yes. It's more the direction we're going. I'm the Enemy, that style. A little bit more progressive, I'd say.
Yeah.
Thankfully, finally.
Prog metal, so you're going to have songs that are like 27 and a half minutes long or something like that?
Like we like to still make it like catchy, and not that prog metal isn't catchy, but we like to have some pop elements too, so that it's like some kind of in between.
Yeah, like what we like to do is like just mix different genres. Like don't really decide before it's gonna be like this. We just go with the flow. If we feel like this and that, it sounds good, we're gonna do it. Yeah.
Taking the progressive connection, I mean, I would say that if you go more progressive, people could show up 40 minutes late and make it before the first song ends. So there you go.
That's true.
So it's fair to say you kind of answered this question in a way, but you do like to experiment with your sound, right? It's not like you're focused on getting one signature sound and you take a new approach to every song or even every album you do.
Like it's not that we decide to, it's just that how it goes. Like we just, like I have ADHD, I'm bipolar, so that's my mindset. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm everything at once, and that's what we're gonna put in. Like we go a lot by emotions, just do what we feel like. If it sounds good, it's good. If it feels good, it's good.
There's like one, you say red thread. That's what we say in Sweden. Like we have one thing that we always have. It's our like ambient, big reverbs from. I have a pedal from Strymon called Big Sky, and that's like
amazing.
that has been with us from the start, and it's always like we like big sounds, but then the rest around it kind of switch front and back and forth. But that kind of just always keeps us sounding like us. I'd say
it's like keeps it together, and also like I have a very some people love my voice, some people hate my voice, but that's also like keeps it together. It's like people can hear like it's them, and that keeps it together. Like the ambient stuff and my voice, everything like kind of glues it together. But apart from that, we just do what we feel like.
Yeah, I totally understand. And being that you mentioned that like it's so experimental, but is there ever like a preconceived idea? Do you ever have like a concept that you work off of, or is there like a chord progression that you follow, or something that maybe dictates a direction that you're going into?
I would say that's a good question. Is it?
It's a very good question, because it's totally different every song. Sometimes we write some chords first because they move us or whatever, and then that makes me think of this, and he writes lyrics, or he writes lyrics and that makes me feel a certain way, and the other band members, and we write music to that.
I mean,
it's totally different.
It's the same with most bands. Like
as a vibe, do we have a vibe for every song?
Sometimes I'm aiming for a certain vibe. I write lyrics a lot. Like I just write like poems-ish, and if I find something that sticks, like with something he does, this is the vibe that I'm searching for this text. I kind of try to make it fit in and puzzle a bit. So it's so different. I think it's like when you're writing songs together with people and not writing like only two people all the time. Like we used to have friends that comes in and like we have sessions together with friends to get other influences and like another mindset into the music to evolve all the time. So it's always different. It's so hard to say, but I would say maybe like it's always kind of rock.
Yeah.
That's.
Do you like to leave your lyrics open to interpretation, or are you trying to maybe like convey a message, maybe get a listener to see things from your point of view?
It depends. All of my the thing with Kerbera is that we have a lot of how do you say subtle messages, like
Metaphors?
yes, like it might be very very simple, like a simple line, but if you kind of like analyze the whole text, in the end it's telling something. And I never say that out loud. I might say that this song is about some certain emotion, but I never say out loud, this is what I want to say. I want my audience to find it out by themselves. And a few people came close, but I want them to kind of have this debate among each other, like, can it be about this or that? And maybe just make it about what they think themselves. But always I have a direction, I would say. I have something I want to tell, but I never say it out loud.
And being in the instrumental section of the band, is it easier to maybe help write a song when you have the other members around you because you could work cohesively together, or do you need like some creative independence to like maybe get a clear idea of a song structure or something?
I mean, mostly I work a lot better with someone else or with everyone else, because sometimes you can write a riff, you're like, that sounds like everything else in the world, or like, no, that's just boring. But if you're with someone else, they're gonna be like, no, that's so cool. And maybe if you do this and they change one note and that makes the whole song, it's just so much easier to have a like plank to throw balls at,
Yeah.
I'd say definitely I prefer to write with the other members.
They say being an artist or a musician working in the creative field is sometimes the most lonely thing that could possibly happen. So that's good that you work well with the.
We try to work with other people just to get that vibe that might not be like, we're a constellation of people in a group. It's always like if you change one member, it's going to be a different thing. So what we want to do is just to keep some like different people come into it and just give a little touch, and that might be like it's something that we would never have thought of ourselves. So it's going to be something that evolves us and make us see things from different angles, and so.
And I have 2 more questions for you. When you're playing live now, so we just went in depth in the songwriting process, but now you're bringing this material live. Do you try to maybe execute the material exactly how people are hearing it on the album, or do you like to maybe make the live presence a little bit different than what people would get just from listening to you guys?
I'd say a little bit different. I mean, when you write a song in the studio, it feels a certain way, but when you go into the rehearsal space, it's totally different. Not totally different, but you can just feel it more. So we tend to have some things that we just, that's what we should have done.
Yeah, right.
And we change it and we do that live instead. And I mean, sometimes we have to find an ending to a song that fades out. And I mean, so it's definitely going to be like, generally we try to do it as the song is, obviously, but we have a few things that we change over time.
Like, okay, this sounds good live. It wouldn't make it like it wouldn't be as good if it was on the actual song. It's just a live thing. We might put in something different. So, like with Kerbera in general, we want if someone is following us on our tour, for example, every show, we want to give them a different experience every time. We want to base the experience that we have right now on the mood that we have, so it's gonna be different either way. So yeah.
I mean, there's also, because like sometimes, like for instance, I'll give you an example. When I saw System of a Down, when they played BYOB, the guitar behind the chorus is so different. But that's because originally that song was tracked with 2 guitars. They only have one guitar player on there. So there's definitely like a little. You got to get kind of. I think you have to. There's a whole different creative element to playing live than just making the song.
It is. It's different. Like, and also like you never like all spaces are different. Like the sound. Like if you're playing a small venue, it's gonna be a different sound. How do you say sound? the sound is bouncing differently. So everybody,
Acoustics.
yeah. So so that's it is gonna be different, and we try to just adapt to the way, like the place where we are, and think ahead, like okay, and also like just right there and then. But I wouldn't say we change like chords and stuff like that. Not that far, but
Yeah.
it's
Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's just exactly. It's just a vibe, and maybe the vocals a bit sometimes. And, yeah.
And so before we go, the final question is, thanks again for coming on today. This is the first U.S. show ever. It's an honor to be witnessing history being made.
Yeah.
But is there just anything else with Kerbera you would like to promote in terms of tours, or when can we be expecting the new album?
Like it's our first time now in US. We're gonna come back for sure. We already have it planned. I can't tell any more details about that yet because
Thank you, actually.
yeah. So, but we're gonna come back, and you have a lot of things too. Like we have songs that are gonna be they're recorded, they're on mix and master right now. So you can expect music very soon. Some of the songs we're gonna play today. An album definitely soon. Yes.
Yeah. We're debuting. Debuting? Did you say that? Debuting? Yeah.
Debuting, yeah.
Debuting. Right. A few songs today.
Yeah.
So that's
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Live ever.
Awesome. And we all get to hear it
Yeah.
first. Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Everybody, we are here with Kerbera. New music coming very soon. Welcome to the U.S. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time, Incarceration 2019.